Pass cream last night?
Yeah, that was.
First off, big up to Bron.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For that,
congratulations, bro. King of Kings, man.
You know what I'm gonna say? This conversation. I mean, we talk about the GOAT, man. He might be the GOAT. I think that right there probably solidified it. And this is the reason why. He put himself.
The big ticket just unleashed a verbal assault on the King and the Slim Reaper. His defense of Magic Johnson is currently sending shockwaves through the entire hoops community.
In the
Garnett
basketball world losing their minds. KG didn't just speak his truth. He detonated it. He called out two of them.
The Hall of Famer confronted two titans of the sport over a hidden incident that remamed buried until this very moment.
Behind-the-scenes conversation that was never supposed to see daylight, but somehow leaked. And
now KG is prepared to burn every bridge to protect a pioneer's reputation. Both James and Durant assumed their quiet whispers would never be heard.
Forever,
their assumption proved
but they
fatal.
were dead wrong.
The revelations
what KG
the
revealed
camp
flips the entire idea of respect in the NBA on.
As the focus shifted toward the Irvin Johnson era, the sheer weight of one icon standing up for another created a massive impact.
It hits harder than any stat sheet or highlight reel. When someone who has actually gone to war against.
Hearing from a warrior who battled MJ in the trenches that a specific player reigns supreme carries immense, undeniable weight.
True, because they're not speaking from clips or commentary. They're speaking from the scars they earned trying to.
Public response erupted immediately as the tension spread. It is time to focus on the individual standing at the heart of this storm.
Irvin Magic Johnson, 5 championships, 3 MVPs, and the pure architect of Showtime basketball.
He did far more than revitalize the Los Angeles franchise. He altered the sport's DNA through his supernatural ability to see the floor.
Passes made defenders freeze, and his 6'9" frame running point was something nobody had ever seen before. He didn't.
For him, hoops was pure theater. He infused the game with an infectious charisma and a level of confidence that was truly unique.
A spectacle that everyone wanted to be part of. And after his playing days, he became a billionaire businessman.
Post-retirement, he transitioned into a mogul with 10-figure wealth, cementing his status as a pillar of athletic and business excellence. He faced a life-altering medical crisis in the early 1990s
back stronger than ever. He's not just a basketball legend. He's living proof of.
Consequently, when modern superstars start tarnishing his legacy, the backlash from the global community is bound to be explosive. This is exactly how the drama unfolded. By early 2025, rumors surfaced regarding a hush-hush meeting that was strictly meant to stay behind closed doors.
KD and a few top-tier names talking deep hoops talk. You know those late-night moments when players drop their.
Eventually, the discussion shifted toward icons who might be considered overhyped, and somehow, Johnson became the primary target. While the exact
we don't
audio
have the full
elusive,
tape and
various
details are foggy,
both LeBron
but
and
multiple
Kevin
insiders are claiming LeBron and KD made some.
The second those comments reached Garnett's ears, he reached a total breaking point.
He went
absolutely
nuclear.
Lost it,
Let's
declaring
do
that
it.
the debate was
The floor
finished
is yours.
because Magic remains
Magic's
the
the
definitive
GOAT
greatest
point guard.
of all time.
I don't.
His mind was set in stone. He greeted his peers while standing firm on his absolute conviction regarding the Lakers' legend.
What's up, brother? How you doing, my man?
Came to reiterate that
repeat that statement.
The assertion was clear. Johnson is the top floor general to ever lace them up. But what's the evidence for that?
He revolutionized the position. Not only did he revolutionize the position, he was that from the door. He stayed.
Beyond just innovation, he dominated from day one, maintaining elite status and securing first-team honors throughout his 12-year professional run. Critics might point to his superstar teammates like Abdul Jabbar, but his individual brilliance overshadowed his. Even the way Stephen Curry altered the league with long-range shooting doesn't diminish the impact Magic had on the sport.
See, he didn't revolutionize.
The man who's never backed down from anyone decided to draw the line right.
Reports indicate that Garnett's outburst has the entire NBA community on edge, wondering who else might get caught in his crosshairs.
What's coming next? So what exactly did LeBron and Kevin Durant say that's got the entire basketball world flipping out?
What began as a relaxed chat between peers rapidly devolved into a blatant lack of appreciation for those who paved the way.
Talking hoops, but it quickly crossed the line into straight-up disrespect. It wasn't basketball talk anymore. It turned into a direct attack on Magic's career.
Sources claim it all started with the classic debate over the all-time best floor general. Johnson
Naturally,
was the
Magic's
first
name
choice,
was the first
but
one
LeBron
dropped.
reportedly
But that's
countered by
when,
suggesting that the
allegedly,
older era
LeBron
lacked the
chimed
rigor of
in
today's
saying
game.
Magic.
James allegedly argued that the talent pool was thinner back then, and that rosters weren't nearly as formidable as modern-day powerhouses. He pointed
and
out the
teams
lack
weren't
of
built
perimeter
like
shooting
today's
depth and
monsters.
the absence
He
of the
even threw
worldwide
in that
talent
the
surge that
three-point
defines
game
the
wasn't
current
what
era.
it is.
Durant apparently supported LeBron's stance, but he added a specific detail that left everyone in the room stunned.
Durant
Word is that
reportedly
Durant
backed LeBron
characterized
up,
the
but with his
Lakers
own twist
legend
that
as a
made jaws
marketing
drop.
phenomenon,
KD
rather
allegedly
than a
said
ruthless
Magic was
competitor.
more
He claimed the man's play style was merely smoke and mirrors.
same
Suitable
level
for
as
highlights,
today's floor
perhaps,
generals who
yet
put up
nowhere near
25 to
modern
30 a
playmakers
night
dropping
and run an
25 to
offense.
30
He
points while
even compared
orchestrating entire
Magic's
schemes.
19.
The critique intensified when he pitted Magic's 19-point average against today's scoring-heavy backcourts, causing tensions to reach a boiling point. A bombshell claim
Then came
shattered
the
digital
line that
landscape.
broke the internet.
LeBron reportedly argued
LeBron
that Magic's
allegedly
massive
said
corporate success
Magic's business
inflated his
empire
athletic
makes
reputation.
people
Based on the circulated rumors, he
the
suggested those
ownerships,
billionaire
the
ventures
image,
and team
created a
ownerships
halo
forged a
effect
golden
around his
aura,
career,
blinding critics to
basically
his actual
implying that
hardwood
Magic's
performance.
legend.
The insinuation that post-retirement triumphs padded his legacy acted like gasoline on the fire of online discourse.
Set social media ablaze.
Arguments over
Now
the
look,
all-time
debates
greatest
about
are
greatness
constant.
happen all the
The
time.
fan base
Fans live
thrives on
for
such
it,
friction.
but there's a
However, a massive gulf exists between era-based analysis and dismantling the very foundation of Irvin Johnson's legendary status.
Johnson
This first-year
here,
phenom
a
secured
rookie who
Finals
won a
MVP
Finals
while filling in
MVP
at
playing
center,
center,
eventually
a point
amassing
guard
5
with
rings,
5 rings,
surpassing the
more
combined
than
totals of
LeBron
James
and
Durant.
KD.
He revolutionized basketball rules, hoisting the Lakers onto his shoulders during the sport's most brutal and competitive epoch.
If you're going to
such
question
a resume
that,
requires
you better
profound
come with
reverence.
some
Yet
serious
those
respect.
confidential remarks
Word of
quickly
that
spilled into the
private
public
talk
domain.
didn't.
Rumor has it a confidant betrayed the group, surfacing either a voice recording or incriminating digital messages.
Maybe
Regardless
screenshots
of the media,
of texts,
it ignited
but whatever it
instantly,
was,
engulfing
it spread
every private
fast.
chat,
Suddenly, every
televised
group
broadcast,
chat,
and
every
fan
sports show,
forum in
every
flames.
fan.
New Age spectators rallied behind LeBron and Durant, praising their blunt honesty as a necessary update to outdated narratives.
Conversation.
Conversely,
But the
seasoned
older
veterans were
generation,
incensed,
they were
viewing these
furious.
comments not as
They
a
said
valid
this
debate,
wasn't
but
debate.
as pure
It was
sacrilege.
flat out.
Precisely as the chaos seemed to subside, Kevin Garnett lunged into the fray with the fury of a demon.
Man possessed.
I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago.
Honesty. Directing his message toward Ant, Tatum, and the entire modern roster, he prepared to drop some harsh truths.
Bro,
2 decades prior,
20 years ago,
pulling
bro,
off
you
a
couldn't
triple
get to a
step
triple
back was
step
fantasy.
back. You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a
Any shot taken demanded conversion because the era prioritized ruthless efficiency over high-volume attempts, he explained.
my
The game
dude, and it was
fluid,
so,
defined by a
it
level
was
of
too
physicality
physical.
that today's stars can't
Yeah.
fake. In a viral video, Garnett glares into the lens, his voice trembling with rage as he screams against dishonoring the architects of basketball.
With
His
emotion,
vocal cords
shouting,
vibrated
"You
with a
don't
raw
disrespect
blend of
legends
fury,
who built this
devotion,
game.
and
You can feel
unwavering
the
allegiance
anger,
to his
the passion,
predecessors."
the
Anyone familiar with his character understands he has zero tolerance for artificial pleasantries or hollow rhetoric.
talk.
He
This is a
approached
man who
every
played
tick of the
every
clock
second like it was
as if it were
war.
a
He
life
talked
or death
trash,
struggle
stared
on a
opponents down.
battlefield. Utilizing psychological warfare and a terrifying presence, he pushed even the most hardened competitors past their breaking points.
Protecting
Garnett
the
remains
legacy
a
of those who
relentless
came
guardian of
before him.
history,
Kevin
never
Garnett
wavering in
doesn't
his
play
role as the
games.
sport's most
Kevin
intense
Garnett has
protector.
always
He stood as a ferocious sentry over his era, defending its honor like a territorial beast.
caught
Upon
wind of what
hearing the
LeBron and
supposed slights
KD
from
allegedly
James and
said
Durant
about
regarding
Magic Johnson. He didn't
refused to use
tiptoe
a subtle
around it.
touch.
He did.
Eschewing cryptic social media posts, he chose a direct confrontation, unleashing a torrential downpour of righteous anger. In a
Fury.
widely
During
shared
a recent
discussion,
interview that's
an
now all
interviewer
over
questioned
social
him
media,
on the current
the host
generation's
asked
perspective
Garnett
of
about how
basketball
today's
icons.
players
That inquiry triggered a volcanic eruption. His cadence hardened as he prepared to deliver a scorching response.
next,
With visceral
straight
conviction,
from the heart.
he declared that any
KG
slander
said,
against Magic
"You don't
was
talk
strictly
about
off
Magic
limits,"
like that,
ending
period.
the discussion right
I don't
there.
care who
Status, title counts, and statistical achievements were irrelevant in the face of such a monumental transgression.
dudes
He
even have
asserted
a
that
platform
Johnson's
to speak
Showtime
on.
era served
You
as
think
the literal
Showtime didn't
foundation
pave
for
the
the
way for
modern
everything we
athlete's
see
global
today?
influence and wealth.
Miss me with
Rejecting the insolence outright, he leaned forward, his gaze intensifying as he prepared to escalate his defense further.
fire
While
in his
acknowledging
eyes.
his respect
LeBron,
for
KD,
LeBron and
I got
Kevin,
love for both
he
of
made it
y'all, but let me
clear
tell
a
you
stern
something.
correction
You
was
don't get to
forthcoming.
rewrite.
He warned against distorting the past through modern biases, noting Magic faced a nightly gauntlet of legendary icons.
Kareem, Dr.
Opponents
J,
like Bird and
Isaiah,
Irving were
Hakeem,
true
these
predators,
weren't scrubs,
yet Magic
these were
didn't merely
killers,
survive
and Magic
them.
didn't just
He
compete
rose to
with
the
them.
top.
He
His overwhelming fervor suggested he was shielding the entire soul of the game, not just one individual.
defending a whole generation that laid the groundwork for today's stars. Garnett started breaking down receipts.
He highlighted the 1980 finals, where a rookie Johnson famously stepped in for an ailing Kareem at center.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at center. What did Magic do? Drop 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists in a
His tone wavered under the weight of his own reverence for such an unparalleled athletic feat.
kind
The
of
big ticket
greatness.
then pivoted
Then he
to Magic's
dove deeper,
unrivaled court
talking
vision,
about
his knack
Magic's
for elevating
unmatched
his squad,
basketball
and the
IQ,
way his grit forged
his ability
legendary
to make
empires.
every
Following that, he dropped a bombshell that left the basketball community absolutely reeling.
basketball
Garnett
world
argued that
right in the
dismissing
chest.
Johnson's
KG
greatness
said, if
essentially
you
admitted
think
an
Magic's
ignorance regarding
overrated,
the
you're
very
telling me you
essence
don't
of victory.
understand.
He stressed that such critics failed to grasp the weight of selflessness or the art of dominating while prioritizing the collective unit.
Player
That
on the
statement
floor.
landed with the
Boom!
force of a
That
haymaker,
quote hit like a
radiating
punch.
pure
You could feel
sentiment,
it. The
fierce
raw
devotion,
emotion,
and a
the
reverence for
loyalty,
the sport's
the
roots.
pride in the
This was far from a mindless outburst from the former most valuable player.
built the
He
league
acted as
from
a guardian
sweat,
for the
toughness, and
icons who
pure
carved the
love for
league through
basketball
sheer labor
and
passion,
social media.
igniting a
It
digital
exploded.
firestorm. Within moments, snippets of the confrontation saturated the internet, prompting followers to launch endless head-to-head metrics.
Magic's rings,
5
MVPs,
championships
and final
accolades were
stats stacked up
scrutinized
against LeBron's
the
and
career
KD's
tallies of the
numbers.
King
Old
and
school
the Slim
fans were
Reaper.
hyped.
Traditionalists rejoiced, hailing Garnett as the final bastion of authenticity for voicing the uncomfortable truths others dodged.
Fired
Conversely,
back,
the new
calling him
generation
bitter,
pushed back,
outdated,
labeling him a
and
resentful
saying he
relic who
couldn't
simply
handle
couldn't
the
accept
truth.
the modern
The
era's
comment
evolution.
sections
Online forums transformed into battlegrounds between eras, while the two primary targets maintained a calculated hush. Absolute radio silence. Zero communication occurred until the following day, when James shared an ambiguous social media post about ignoring external distractions.
speaks
He
for
suggested
itself.
excellence
That was
required
it.
no
No
explanation,
mention of Magic,
offering a
no
vague
name
piece
drop of
wisdom that
KG,
avoided mentioning
just
his
a clean
predecessors or
motivational
his
post
critic.
that could.
Supporters immediately began speculating if the message served as a subtle counterpunch directed at the veteran.
KG.
People wondered
Was
if
it a
it was an
dodge,
avoidance
or was
tactic or
LeBron
a
just
total
pretending it
dismissal?
wasn't about him at
Yet the
all?
temperature of
Whatever
the
it
debate
was,
only
it didn't cool
soared.
things.
The maneuver effectively threw gasoline onto an already massive inferno.
World,
With a public
and Magic
challenge
himself
issued and the
staying silent so
protagonist remaining
far.
quiet,
Everyone's
the
waiting
world
to see
sat
what
on
happens
edge,
next.
anticipating a
Fans went
rebuttal.
wild.
The digital crowd obsessively parsed every syllable of the cryptic update, attempting to unmask the true intent behind the words. Whether
Controversy.
he was
Was he
reaffirming
doubling
his
down
stance
on
or
what he
moving
said?
on,
Nobody
remained a
knows for
mystery
sure.
that the superstar
And
refused
LeBron's
to
not getting
clarify.
any answer.
Simultaneously, Durant took a surprising turn by completely withdrawing from the grid, offering no digital presence whatsoever.
No
For an
podcast
athlete
tapes,
typically
nothing.
engaged in
For a guy
every
who's
online
usually one of the
discourse,
loudest voices
his sudden
online,
absence felt
KD's silence
remarkably
was
loud.
deafening.
Theories circulated rapidly, with some suggesting his management team forced a temporary retreat to minimize damage. Others believed
KD realized he crossed a line and didn't want to dig himself any deeper. But here's the truth.
Opting for stillness did nothing to extinguish the controversy.
LeBron and
anything,
KD had
it painted a picture
disrespected a
of two
legend,
titans
got
who
called
insulted
out
a
by one of
pioneer,
the fiercest
then lacked the
competitors
courage to
ever,
stand behind
and
their
didn't
words.
even have the
Broadcast networks seized the narrative instantly.
silence,
prominent analyst
fully
spent an
backing
entire
KG's
broadcast
stance and
blasting their
demanding
avoidance,
LeBron and
siding with
KD
the
show some
veteran's
public
defense of the
respect for
legendary
Magic
point guard.
Johnson.
Other commentators agreed, noting that such a lack of response reflected poorly on two men seeking greatest of all time status.
Even
the
Charles
round mound of
Barkley threw
rebounds
his hat in
chimed
the
in,
ring during an
asserting that the
interview
icon
saying,
easily secured a
Magic's a
spot among
top
the
5
top
player
ever.
ever.
He claimed anyone disputing that fact lacked a fundamental understanding of the game, fueling the widespread outrage.
Just about
What
a
began
single
as a
argument
simple
anymore.
disagreement
It
morphed
became a
into an all-out
generational
war
showdown.
between age groups,
Younger fans,
with youths
many who
championing
never
the
actually
current
saw
stars.
Magic.
They contended that the modern roster possessed superior technical skills and athleticism compared to the players of the 80s.
Face
To them,
way tougher
scrutinizing
competition.
the past
They claim
wasn't an
that
act of
questioning
malice,
old school
but a
legends
necessary
isn't
step in
disrespect.
assessing the sport's
It's
growth.
part of
Older enthusiasts, however, were livid at the perceived lack of honor shown to those who paved the way.
timelines and
saturated the
comment
web
sections with
vintage
Magic's
footage of
highlight
those
reels.
famous blind
Those
deliveries
iconic
and
no-look
high-stakes
passes,
championship
clutch
performances.
moments.
Highlights of epic showdowns and trophy ceremonies were used as evidence of a dominance that transcended simple numbers.
Was
They
destiny.
weren't looking
They weren't
for a
debating.
compromise.
They were
They were
educated.
teaching a
Their message was
masterclass on
loud
the
and clear.
history of the
Respect
hardwood.
isn't
Their stance was firm. The current riches and global platforms were built on the backs of those who came before.
without acknowledging the players who built the
intensity
foundation for all of
of
it.
the
The stakes started rising
situation
fast. Suddenly,
It
basketball.
transformed from a
LeBron
social
and
media
KD
trend
had just made
into
a
serious
massive
question of
mistake that
character
could
that
haunt
could
their
forever
reputations
cloud two
forever.
massive
Let's zoom out
legacies.
for a
Taking a broader view reveals that this incident involves much more than a retired forward protecting a friend.
Drama
This
is just
friction
one
serves as a
flashpoint in a
symptom
much deeper
of a
tension
much
that's been
larger
brewing in the
struggle for
NBA for
identity
years.
within the
A
professional
cultural
ranks.
divide.
It highlights the widening chasm between the superstars of today and the titans who built the empire they inherit.
Who's
He
got
believed
better
the conversation
stats.
transcended
It's about
mere technical
respect.
proficiency
It's about
or
understanding
superior
where this game
statistical
came
output.
from.
The heart of the matter was reverence and a deep appreciation for the pioneers who sculpted the sport into a global powerhouse.
He and Larry
Consider the
Bird entered the
stakes.
league in
Magic
1979.
Johnson
The
wasn't simply
NBA
a
was
participant
struggling.
in the
Games
league.
were airing
He
on
was
tape
its
delay.
ultimate
Ratings were
savior.
down.
When he and Larry Bird arrived in 1979, professional basketball sat on the brink of collapse, plagued by dwindling audiences and tape-delayed broadcasts.
Must-see
However,
TV.
their fierce
They
collision
created
ignited a
rivalries that
cultural
transcended
firestorm,
the sport, pulled
transforming
new
the
fans
hardwood
in,
into the
and
world's
made
most
the
essential
NBA global.
television event.
Their success
They sparked a rivalry so intense it bled into the mainstream, capturing new audiences and expanding the game across every continent.
worldwide
Their unprecedented
phenomenon.
triumph
Then
cleared a
Jordan
path for
inspired
Michael
Kobe
Jordan to
Bryant, who
skyrocket
carried the
sport
torch and
into a
built his own
planetary
empire
obsession.
of
Jordan's relentless spirit then fueled Kobe Bryant, who seized that burning flame to establish a personal kingdom of mastery.
and
From
legacy.
that lineage arose
Every
LeBron
generation
James,
builds on the one before.
contemporary titan
That's how
standing atop a
greatness
mountain
works.
built from
But
40
somewhere
years of
along
grit
the
and
way,
tradition.
some
Each new era ascends by climbing the shoulders of the giants who stood there first. That is the cycle of true greatness.
training.
Yet, a
They're
trend emerged where modern
automatically
stars
better.
assumed their
They
faster pace
forgot
and
that
superior
none of this
conditioning
exists
automatically
without
made
the
them superior
legends
to
who
old
broke
gods.
the
These athletes seem to forget that their current luxury was purchased by the legends who broke the initial barriers.
And now,
Those
with
icons were the
KG's
ones who
outbursts lighting up
consecrated the
every
arenas
sports
and
show,
breathed a
fans
mythic
are split
narrative
right
into
down
the
the
very
middle.
soul of the
Old
league.
school
Now, with Kevin Garnett's explosive testimony echoing through every media outlet, the fans find themselves locked in a fierce debate. It has
stars
become a
forgotten
clash
who
of
made the
traditional
game
honor
what it
against
is.
modern
And yeah,
skepticism,
sure,
centered on
the
a
game has
single,
evolved.
hauntingly direct
Players
question.
today are
Have the current millionaires lost their connection to the architects of their wealth? Certainly, the game has undergone a massive transformation. While today's elite
and that's
possess
exactly
unmatched
what
physical
Kevin
advantages
Garnett
and
was
high-tech
trying to
tools,
say.
those
His
assets
message
cannot
was crystal
invalidate the
clear.
accomplishments of the past.
Debate.
That exact sentiment fueled Garnett's outrage, and his ultimate point was delivered with lethal clarity. One can argue over
You don't
box
tear
scores
down
forever,
their
but one
accomplishments
must
just to
never
make your
disparage
own
the
era
legends who
shine
paved the very
brighter.
road they
That's
currently
not
walk.
how
Tearing down an ancestor's temple just to make a modern house look taller is a complete betrayal of sporting respect.
two of the
Then
greatest
came a
talents the game has
stinging
ever
reality
seen.
check that left
Nobody's
the entire
denying
basketball
that. But
community
neither of them
gasping
did
for
what
air.
Magic
LeBron James and Kevin Durant are undoubtedly generational wonders, yet neither man performed the miraculous rescue that Magic Johnson achieved.
He
Magic
wasn't just
didn't
a player.
participate in winning.
He was the
He was
engine
the
that
definition
powered
of
a
it,
dynasty
reaching
that
9
owned an
finals and
entire
securing 5
decade.
rings in a mere
The man
12
changed.
years. He functioned as the high-powered engine for a legendary dynasty that held the entire 1980s in a stranglehold.
They
The man
don't have the
fundamentally
championship
rewrote the DNA
dominance
of the
that
sport,
Magic
a
built,
fact that remains
especially
undisputed
from the
by
point
anyone with a
guard
sense
spot.
of history.
So
Although James and Durant possess staggering resumes, they lack the absolute championship authority Magic commanded while running the point.
sounds like
Consequently, when
insecurity,
reports surfaced
like
that
they're
they allegedly
trying to
questioned
chip
his
away
status,
at a
it
legend's
ceased to sound
shine
like
to
objective
protect their
analysis.
own.
It resonated more like deep-seated insecurity, an attempt to dim a legend's brilliance to protect their own standing in the record books.
Meanwhile,
Such a move creates
Magic
a poor
Johnson
image
himself
for
has
two
stayed
icons
completely
who are so
silent.
deeply
No
concerned with
posts,
how
no
posterity will judge
interviews.
them. Throughout the ensuing chaos, Magic Johnson himself has maintained a chilling and total silence.
His
That
legacy,
lack of noise
his
serves
5
as the
rings
most
already
powerful
did the
rebuttal
talking.
possible,
His smile,
proving
his
that a king
leadership,
never needs
his
to explain
impact,
his own
they're
crown.
etched.
His 5 championship trophies and his massive cultural footprint provide all the evidence any historian could ever require. He is so secure
But Kevin
in his legendary
Garnett's
status
fiery
that he requires
defensive
zero
magic sent a
validation from LeBron,
shockwave through the
Durant,
league,
or any
a
other active
reminder
player.
that
Regardless, Garnett's ferocious defense of the old guard sent a massive shockwave through the modern locker rooms.
you are.
It served
The
as a stern
foundation you're
warning that
standing on
reverence
was
within
built
the
by
league is
those
a
who came
mandatory
before.
debt, not
It
a
told the
polite
legends that
suggestion.
their
He reminded the youth that no matter how high they fly, they are supported by a foundation built by forgotten giants. The outburst reassured
silence
the
can speak
retirees of their
volumes.
immortality,
And right
while
now,
forcing the
it's
current
saying the
superstars
wrong
to face an
thing.
uncomfortable
Because at the end of the day,
sometimes silence carries a deafening weight, and in this instance, it is projecting all the wrong signals.
built the
Ultimately,
game you
a
profit
legacy is
from.
defined
And
by
right
more than just
now,
highlight reels.
LeBron and
It is
KD are
measured by how
failing
one
that
honors
test
the
big
ancestors
time.
of their craft.
So here's
In this specific test of character and humility, both LeBron and Durant are currently falling short of the mark.
new
This leads to the
generation
burning inquiry
speaking
gripping
their
the sports
truth.
world.
Should modern
these
players
icons
have the
overstep,
freedom
or are
to
they simply
critique
voicing a new
legends
perspective?
without
Should the modern elite be granted the right to scrutinize the past without being branded as ungrateful or disrespectful?
right here?
Or is there a
Drop your
sacred
thoughts in the
boundary of
comments.
respect that
Are you
no
riding
player,
with Team
regardless
KG
of their
or Team
talent,
LeBron?
should ever
Make sure
dare
to like,
cross?
share.
Leave a comment below. Does the third person stand with Garnett's fire or support the modern stance of LeBron? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more intense basketball chronicles, and he will see everyone in the next chapter.